I think while we are still waiting for the formal proceedings to start, one should take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the deputy ministers that are in the House. Deputy Minister of Police, you are welcomed. We just want to also acknowledge other senior officers that are here, both from Interpol and the Republic of South Africa. Senior officers from the SAPS, they are deputy national commissioners, they are provincial commissioners. There's also other officers that are responsible for various offices. From the Interpol side, I'm quite aware that we have executive committee members. We have the Vice President also. You are warmly welcome in the Republic of South Africa, and let us enjoy and be glad and ensure that we have a successful conference. I'm quite aware that I'm supposed to be given a cue as soon as the high table is ready to enter. And as usual, I'd recommend that when they enter, we do as usual by standing up, and such a cue will be given as soon as we are ready. Thank you. Okay. I'm aware that there are those that are still arriving. Let me repeat the initial message that I gave in terms of interpretation services. English is on channel 1, French channel 2, Spanish on channel 3, and Arabic on channel 4. And again, as it is the norm, can you please make sure that during the proceedings, you switch off your mobile devices to make sure that you cannot disturb the flow. I got a cue that everything is going to start. Distinguished guests, please rise for the entrance of Professor Cachalia, the Minister of Police. Please remain standing for the playing of anthems and remain standing to ensure that we also have to observe a moment of silence thereafter. Officers that are in uniform must salute during the playing of the anthems, and everyone must be on attention. Over to you, Parade Commander.
Guard of honor, shoulder arms! Guard of honor, national salute, present arms!
Shall we remain standing and observe a minute of silence in honor of police officers that passed away while on duty? Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the opening of the 27th INTERPOL African Regional Conference. My name is Brigadier Ntime Mukine. I'm the head of NCB in Pretoria. I'll be running this program to ensure that everything runs as smooth as possible. I will also thank myself at the end because sometimes program directors are never thanked. It is a pleasure, without any waste of time, to call upon the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, General Fannie Masemola, to deliver a word of welcome. Over to you, General.
Thank you, Program Director. And let me recognize the Acting Minister of Police, Professor Cachalia, in the Republic of South Africa, the Deputy Ministers of Police in the Republic of South Africa, Deputy Minister Dr. Boshielo and Mr. Cassel Mathale, the President of INTERPOL, Major General Ahmed Naser Al-Raisi, the Vice President for Africa, Mohamed Dikisi, the Interpol Secretary General, Mr. Valdecy Urquiza, the Chairperson of African Union Commission, His Excellency Mohamed Al-Yusuf, Chiefs of Police from all Interpol member countries, heads of delegation and all representative delegates present here today, the Director General of the JCPS departments that are present here today, Deputy National Commissioners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you to the 27th Interpol Africa Regional Conference here in Century City, Cape Town, the Republic of South Africa. We gather today to not merely as representative of our respective countries, but as partners bound by shared responsibility to confront complex and evolving challenges of transnational crime that undermine peace, prosperity, and the rule of law across all our beloved continent. This biennial conference is one of the Interpol's most significant regional events. It offers us the opportunity to assess crime threats, the emerging trends across the continent and the rest of the world, and of course, to strengthen Interpol capabilities and therefore across the global policing, and to ensure that across all 193 member countries, there is cooperation across. Allow me at this stage to acknowledge and warmly welcome our Acting Minister of Police, Professor Firoz Cachalia. Your presence here today, Minister, and your role as the keynote speaker at this official opening of this event will reflect South Africa's unwavering commitment to regional and global security cooperation. We are honored to have you here to guide us as we start the next 3-day deliberations. A special word of welcome also to the President of INTERPOL, Major General Ahmed Naser Al-Raisi. Your leadership of this vital global organization, which is shaping the future of policing cooperation across the continent. We thank you for gracing the opening of this conference and of standing firmly with Africa in its fight against organized crime. I equally acknowledge the presence of the Vice President of Interpol for Africa, Mr. Mohamed Kisi, and the Secretary General of Interpol, Mr. Urquiza. Your stewardship ensures that Interpol remains a cornerstone of international policing, and we are grateful for your leadership, your support, and your presence here today. Ladies and gentlemen, the conference is convenient at this critical juncture across Africa and indeed the world. We say to organized crime and transnational organized crime, especially that is evolving across the countries, that we as the Interpol, we need to keep on cooperating and make sure that we are always a step ahead to the criminal world. Whether it is drug trafficking, human trafficking, cybercrime, which is is an emerging threat across the globe, firearms smuggling, vehicle theft, or illegal mining, all these crimes exploit borders and they weaken governance, fuel corruption, destabilize countries. Distinguished delegates, it is our collective evolve to dismantle complex international syndicate. Let us be clear, transnational crime knows no borders, and our response cannot be confined to either one country or countries. In South Africa, we face our own pressing challenges: cross-border smuggling of motor vehicles, illicit trafficking of drugs in and out. Just last week, we destroyed drugs and confiscated medicine, that is counterfeit medicine, of more than 420 million rand in value. The illegal mining, farms, proliferation, and human trafficking remains amongst the urgent priorities that we all need to focus on. These threats are not unique to us. They echo across the continent, demanding collective and coordinated responses. As we deliberate our strategies, let us never lose sight of the human cost. Behind every crime stats lies a story of lives shattered, families broken, and communities robbed of their peace. We must remember the silent and anonymous victims, the missing, the exploited, the trafficked, and the vulnerable. Our duty as law enforcement leaders is not only to dismantle these criminal networks, but also to restore dignity and protection and hope to the people we serve. Esteemed delegates, Africa is a continent of immense potential of growth, innovation, and resilience. Yet, these very strengths are targeted by those who profit from instability and exploitation. The only way to protect this promise is to build strong institutions, share intelligence, harmonize our legal frameworks, and strengthen trust amongst our nation. This conference is more than a platform to discuss challenges. It is an opportunity to chart a course forward to anticipate, prevent, and neutralize threats before they undermine our progress. Over the next 3 days, let us commit to bold, collaborative, action-oriented decisions that will secure a safe Africa and contribute to global peace and security. It is on that score that not only 40 of the 54 African states are here, but also other regions globally have attended, because it is necessary that we share experiences, we share intelligence, we share best practices on how we'll definitely be able to win over these criminal syndicates and networks that are across the globe. This is a historic moment for South Africa. It's first of its kind that we host the regional Interpol in this country, especially in the mother city of Cape Town in the Western Cape province. We trust that the deliberations will not only enrich our collective knowledge, but also inspire concrete actions that leave a lasting impact. You are welcomed at this conference. Thank you very much.
Welcoming remarks have been made. Very nice, succinct and synoptic, and to the point. Thank you, National Commissioner. I now invite Major General Dr. Ahmed Naser Al-Raisi, the President of Interpol, to deliver his opening address. President.
Your Excellency, Professor Firoz Cachalia, Acting Minister of Police and the Member of Parliament, Your Excellencies, the Deputy Ministers, Your Excellencies, members of the Executive Committee, Your Excellency Valdecy Urquiza, Secretary General of INTERPOL, Your Excellency Garba Omar, the former Interpol Vice President for Africa, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Interpol's 27th African Regional Conference, hosted this week in the beautiful Cape Town in South Africa. We are grateful to the South African authorities for the outstanding organization and warm hospitality that set the tone for the important gathering. Our host, the South African Police Service, has long been a pillar of international police cooperation. Their commitment to tackling complex threats, reinforcing South Africa's standing as a key force in regional and global security. We thank them for leading by example. The African Regional Conference is not just a yearly gathering, it's a testament to the enduring spirit of partnership that defines Interpol's work on the continent. Our theme this year, leveraging cooperation, innovation, and partnership for fighting transnational organized crime, reflects the urgent challenges we face, but more importantly, it signals our shared determination to find solutions together. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme reflects the experience working with all of you. Through my Interpol career, I have had the pleasure of witnessing firsthand the efficiency, resilience, and the ingenuity of African law enforcement. And looking ahead, I'm excited to the upcoming General Assembly in Morocco this year, which will further highlight Africa's central role in shaping the future of our organization. There are 54 countries in Africa, and each country has their own unique needs, challenges, and strength. Today, I would like to remind you that Interpol is here to support you. Our role is to empower you and learn from you. We are committed to optimizing the services we provide, fostering deeper collaboration, and ensuring our tools and resources meet your needs and goals. Our investment in Africa goes beyond technology and training. We continuously strive to understand and address the evolving needs of the continent. This year, we launched the 2025 African Cyber Threat Assessment Report. The fourth edition offers an up-to-date overview of the region's cybercrime landscape based on operational intelligence, law enforcement input, and private sector collaboration, and highlights new threats such as artificial intelligence-driven fraud that requires urgent attention. Ladies and gentlemen, the conference matters because it's where Africa speak and the General Secretariat listen and learn and acts. Speak clearly this week. Your voice drive our action, and your priorities shape our support. And remember, when you speak, Interpol responds. The results are clear. Over the past 12 months, Africa law enforcement has shown the world the strength of the region unity, backed by Interpol support in tackling terrorism, cybercrime, financial fraud, environmental offenses, and serious organized crime. I want to congratulate you on the progress you made to date. I would also like to share some of the latest results from Interpol's operations across Africa. Over the past year, 987 victims has been rescued and 651 illegal migrants identified and saved. Our joint efforts have led to the arrest of 2,322 criminals. In terms of seizures, authorities have confiscated more than 30,000 kilograms of cocaine, close to 137 kilograms of cannabis, and 63,000 capsules of tramadol, and 8.7 million doses of illicit pharmaceutical. These achievements reflect the dedication and effectiveness of African law enforcement in protecting communities and dismantling criminal networks. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to highlight a few four more operations successes also. Operation Red Card, last February, where African nation demand cyber fraud networks with 306 suspects arrested and thousands of scam devices seized. Operation Sanao cracked down on illegal gold and sand mining across West Africa with 200 arrests and causing severe environmental destruction and public health risks. And just a few days ago, Operation Serengeti brought together investigators from 18 African countries to tackle high harm and high impact cybercrimes, including ransomware, online scams, and business email composers. This operation led to the arrest of 1,209 cyber criminals, targeting nearly 88,000 victims, the recovery of 97.4 million US dollars, and the dismantling of 11,432 malicious infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, Interpol's 19 databases give Africa the opportunity to share sensitive, confidential, and valuable data with police forces in every continent. Since I started my mandate in 2021, your use has gone by the 23% in total. Just last year, the DNA database usage increased by 112%. IBIN saw a remarkable 29% growth, and the iFamilia usage skyrocketed by almost 8,000%. Every search of our database is potential break in a case for a police across Africa and the rest of the world. Your active engagement strengthens our collective ability to detect, prevent, and to respond to crime. And thank you for your dedication. Please continue to use our databases and update them. Ladies and gentlemen, early in my mandate as a president, I led the executive committee on its first ever tour of Africa. We did this because I believe deeply that to serve you, we must stand with you. We went to African police front lines. We spoke with your police leaders. We visited NCPs and regional bureaus. We spoke with the officers who protect you and the community every day. We spoke with your head of states. We listened. We learned. We took our insight to the General Assembly so Interpol could adapt its services to your realities. This journey confirmed what I've always known. Africa's story is one of the resilience and achievement for beyond the challenges it faces. Building on the lessons, the Executive Committee has developed a clear 5-year roadmap for Africa and global policing. This is not a document of words. It's a plan of action. It places your priorities at its core, ensuring that Africa's needs are not only recognized, but drive how Interpol serve you in the years ahead. This roadmap strengthens the system through which we will help you to tackle the threats you face, from terrorism to cybercrime, for environmental crimes to organized criminal networks. It will guide you to Interpol, tailors its tools, operations, and partnership so that our support reflects our realities and delivers results where they matter most. You can count on the Executive Committee and the Secretary General to implement the roadmap with determination. With their leadership and with your continued engagement, Interpol will remain by your side. Make Africa safer to its citizens, its businesses, and to its economies, and its role on the global stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa has stood by me, and I will always stand by Africa. Your support has been extraordinary, and for that, I thank you. Together, let us carry the spirit forward, stronger, united, and determined to shape the future of African security for generations to come. Thank you.
After the President has spoken, who am I to summarize? But truly so, as the head of NCB, what the President has reflected on are indeed our collective successes. Thanks for the guidance, President. We are very much thankful of your leadership. Let me take this opportunity now to invite the Minister, Minister Cachalia, Acting Minister of Police, to deliver his opening address. Minister. Shall we stand?
Thank you. Please have a seat. Thank you, Program Director, Brigadier Mokine. Let me acknowledge Deputy Ministers Cassel, Mathale, and Dr. Polly Boshielo, Major General Dr. Ahmed Naser Al-Raisi, President of INTERPOL, Dr. Urquiza, Secretary General of INTERPOL, is that right? Pronunciation? Hope so. Interpol Executive Committee members, police chiefs in attendance, the National Commissioner of Police, General Masemola, Deputy National Commissioners, SAPS Provincial Commissioners, heads of law enforcement agencies, the chairperson of the African Commission, I believe, have I got that right? Mahmoud Ali Yusuf. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that you're all aware that you are quite a magnificent presence, quite a sight to behold. Police officers gathered from so many jurisdictions. I'm sure that the people of Cape Town feel very safe. I had a few moments with the President and the Secretary General before we came in and got a little bit of a briefing about the magnificent work that you've done over the last few years to establish these databases. And I understand that we are, in our country and across the continent, utilizing these databases to good effect to apprehend criminals. And to hear that you have a 5-year plan, President, to strengthen safety and security on our continent. So I'm very pleased on behalf of the South African people and the South African Police Service to be hosting this event this year in Cape Town, which I understand follows from an event in Luanda 2 years ago, which I'm sure you're going to be building on in your deliberations over the next few days. So I think it's appropriate that you're convening in Cape Town, in South Africa, on our continent. I have been looking at the program. I'm not going to be with you for the deliberations after the opening ceremony, but I asked the National Commissioner to submit the program. I've been looking at the program, and I've asked him to submit your presentations, your documents, and other materials for my bedtime reading in the days ahead. I think that we live in an internet-connected world. Transnational cooperation is vitally important. It has been in recent decades, and I think it's going to be the case in the decades ahead as we confront new and emerging threats that cut across borders. And so I'm not here simply because it's a formal occasion. I wanted to demonstrate our commitment to strengthening cooperation in the area of safety and security. I think that is an important element of every country's, should be an important element of every country's national security strategy. And so Interpol is a very important body. I've been hearing about the number of policing organizations, countries, and so forth that you represent. Very impressive, and I look forward to working with you in the years ahead. So now I'll get to the formal part of the speech. It is both an honor and a privilege for me, on behalf of the government and the people of the Republic of South Africa, to welcome you in our country and to this 27th Interpol African Regional Conference. We are deeply appreciative of the trust and confidence placed in us to host this important gathering of leaders, experts, and practitioners committed to strengthening the rule of law and ensuring the safety and security of our nations, our continent, and indeed the entire globe. The conference convenes at a critical juncture. Transnational organized crime remains one of the most serious threats to peace, stability, and development across Africa and beyond. Its manifestations, as we heard from the National Commissioner and the President, are diverse, from drug trafficking, human trafficking, which is, of course, particularly upsetting, illicit firearms, cybercrime as technology evolves, wildlife crime, particular problem in South Africa, money laundering and terrorism, to name but a few. Thank you very much. To name but a few of the most threatening. These crimes transcend borders, exploit technological advances, and undermine the security of our peoples and the integrity of our respective states and economies. We are all mindful, particularly of that syndicated crime is not static. The evolving nature of criminal activities, the emergence of new trends, and the use of sophisticated technologies by criminal networks compel us to constantly adapt our responses. This is a task that demands a collective, concerted, and focused effort. It requires robust strategies and the concrete implementation of agreed actions at national, regional, continental, and global levels. So, Mr. President, your 5-year plan is very important, and I hope that the 5-year plan will be properly executed over while it's in duration. The importance of this conference lies not only in its agenda, but also in its substantive agenda, policy agenda, but its practical orientation. We are gathered here to generate solutions that are both strategic as well as pragmatic, solutions that can be implemented effectively within our countries and within the frameworks of our regional and continental organizations. Our deliberations will help to shape a more coordinated African response to transnational organized crime, one that strengthens the security of our borders while protecting the rights and well-being of our people. It's a point I can't stress too much. It's become very clear to me since my appointment that our challenge in this country, and I'm sure that this is the case in many jurisdictions, is transnational organized crime. And we are challenged to ensure that we are fit for purpose, that we can meet these challenges. For South Africa, our participation in this conference is firmly rooted in our constitutional values and our long-term national vision. Our Constitution enshrines the rights of every person to safety and security, and it compels the state to protect and uphold these rights. The medium-term development plan for 2024 to 9, more or less coinciding with your 5-year plan, outlines 3 priorities, the third one being building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. At the heart of this lies creating communities that serve as a fundamental pillar for achieving inclusive growth, social cohesion, and sustainable development. So in our integral perspective, there is a connection between what you do as police officers, working towards safety and security, and our development, our other commitments. Our sustainable development goals are interrelated with those of the challenge to achieve greater levels of global security. We recognize that transnational organized crime undermines development and corrodes governance. By weakening institutions, fueling corruption, and diverting resources, it impedes our ability to achieve the aspirations of Agenda 2063 of the African Union and the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. This is why we are committed to working alongside our partners in Africa and across the world to find lasting solutions. The 26th Regional Conference, which was held in Luanda, Angola in 2023, 2 years ago, resolved that information sharing in multiple areas, from wildlife trafficking to counter-terrorism, needed to be increased. The call was for Interpol members to make the most of the tools and services available to them, tools that are automatically connect police officers internationally. I hope that there has been progress in the implementation of the resolutions taken at that conference, and that you will continue to build on what was achieved 2 years ago. The Tax Transparency in Africa report of 2022 by the Africa Initiative showed that African countries suffered significant losses from illicit financial flows, estimated at between 50 and 80 billion every year. Interpol plays a critical containing role in limiting these illicit financial flows, which of course are so harmful to the economic development aspirations of our continent. This is a matter that I find deeply troubling. We struggle with resource constraints. We have huge developmental agendas. We have populations that we must serve, millions of people. and yet we have to deal with a problem of financial leakage from our jurisdictions. We have to find solutions to deal with this problem, because it impacts safety and security plus economic development. In this regard, I wish to emphasize the importance of enhancing and strengthening the role of the Interpol regional and national central bureaus, which I'm learning a little bit about now. These institutions are critical nodes in our collective security architecture. Their effectiveness determines, to a large extent, our ability to prevent, detect, investigate, and prosecute complex cross-border crimes. Equally, our collaboration with the African Regional Police Chiefs Security Cooperation Organizations must be deepened to ensure seamless communication, information sharing, and operational coordination across jurisdictions. I have been advised that this conference will also be used to establish an Interpol African Committee, a most welcome development. Such a committee will enable us to approach transnational organized crime in Africa in a more structured, coherent, and unified manner, so that we are better able to address our common challenges and achieve our shared aspirations for security and development. We must seize this moment to institutionalize cooperation and ensure that it's durable, sustainable, and responsive to the realities of our beloved continent. In order to be efficient and credible, every organization needs to ensure that its members are professional, capable, qualified, and honorable. It is up to us to ensure that we uproot corruption within the law enforcement agencies themselves, and to ensure that we have leaders who serve with integrity. I'm impatient, colleagues, with bureaucratic rhetoric and platitudes. These are deep problems. And in this country and in other countries, but speaking for my own country and my own people, this is a challenge we have to face, because we can't meet the other challenges of improving safety and security, underpinning development and economic growth of our people, whose futures are not negotiable without attention to such matters. Professionalism, ethical commitments, uncompromising commitment to the safety and security of the population in a democracy, because that is what South Africa is. That has to be an unwavering commitment, one that is not merely repeated at conferences of this kind. Distinguished delegates, the task before us is daunting, but is also inspiring. Our collective resolve, our shared expertise, and our commitment to cooperation gives us reason to be hopeful. Let this conference serve as a catalyst for renewed determination and practical collaboration. Let us leave here not only with well-articulated strategies, but with actionable plans that we are committed to implementing. Words matter, but so does action. On behalf of South Africa, I wish to reaffirm our firm commitment to the values and objectives of Interpol and to the spirit of African and international solidarity. We will continue to play our part in building a safer continent and a more secure world. I thank you all and wish this conference fruitful deliberations and a successful outcome. And I hereby have the pleasure to declare the conference officially open. Thank you very much.
The minister has spoken. The minister has set the tone. The minister has provided guidance. And something that touched me that is not common is that we are not just supposed to sit in expensive gatherings, but we have to provide action. It's one of those things that we repeat everything and regurgitate after each and every meeting. Thank you, Minister, to have provided this tone-setting message. And without any further ado, the meeting has come to an end, and therefore I'm going to request that please, we have to rise to allow the high table to leave the house so that we can proceed with other activities of this conference. Minister, can I allow the top table to leave while we stand, please? Thank you, Ben. Shall we all sit for a quick announcement? Now that the formalities have been done, all speeches and all other issues relating to the official opening have been completed. Let me announce quickly to say a group photo is supposed to be taken, and I'm going to request that ushers should assist our delegates to go to a spot where this particular photo is going to be taken. And also let me indicate that, please, I get an indication that the photo is going to be taken in the hall. And let me also indicate that the media, all the media houses that are here must remain inside because the press conference is going to be held in here. While others are having a quick coffee after the photo session, the media conference is going to proceed in the house. Thank you.
Sir.
Two, two. One. dumasango ayore. Hello? Just to say we're about to start the press conference. If we're about to start the press conference, thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for your patience. These things take a little longer than expected sometimes. Because we are running a bit short on time, we will go straight to Q&A, questions and answers. Please note that any questions about South Africa specifically should be directed to the South African Police Service. The Secretary General can answer issues about global crime, about the conference generally, and more generally. So if you have a question, there should be a hands-free microphone. Does someone have the hands-free microphone to pass on? There you go. Okay. If you can please say your name, which media outlet you work for, and to whom your question is addressed, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you. Can I have the first question, please?
Can we perhaps start with the Minister's questions and the SG's questions? Then the National Commissioner's questions will come last. So anyone with questions to the SG and the Minister? Okay, great. We'll come to your question.
Okay, Minister, my name is Mandela. Is he answering now? Is it? Okay.
A long-standing issue, it's a big issue, it's one that I'm very worried about. I have received some communication from the MJC and from Bishop Mahoba. So I'm not sure the National Commissioner has received this request yet, but I've asked for a briefing about what SAPS is doing about gang violence. I'm aware, of course, that some time ago anti-gang units were put in place. There's been some question about their resourcing. So, like I say, I've addressed a communication to his office for a briefing so that I understand what SAPS is doing and where the gaps might be. Then I'm going to engage with the religious leaders who've taken the initiative to talk with me on Monday, hopefully. I then from those engagements, I'll decide what needs to be done. I've got quite a full week in other provinces next week, but my plan is to be back in Cape Town, I think it's the second week of this month, to pay a dedicated attention to this matter. And if urgent steps are required, further steps, once I've gone through this process, I will have clarity about what can and should be done. It can't be allowed to continue where you have unruly gangs shooting people in the streets. You know, it's not acceptable. So I can say, if there's a message to those gangs, they must stop. because I do not regard the status quo as acceptable.
Thank you, Minister. Do we have another question for the Minister?
Minister, good afternoon. Shamila Fisher from Heart FM News. I would like to know from the Minister, or perhaps the Commissioner can answer this one. Almost a year ago, an anti-crime pact was signed between all three spheres of government. And this pact was basically an agreement that all three spheres of government was going to share intel and resources to try to tackle crime in the mother city. As of yet, we have not seen this plan or this agreement come to fruition. Is there an update on this? Do we know what exactly is going to happen when this anti-crime agreement will be implemented or enforced? Thank you.
All right. Do we have another question? No, let's give others a chance.
I didn't ask. I didn't ask. Minister, I'm sorry, but I'm... Okay, my name is Mandilake Chwete from Independent Media. So there has been a call from the City of Cape Town and the Western Cape to have the police powers devolved to the city and also to the province. Have you heard anything from the mayor? Because I understand that he has reached out to your office. And also, what do you think about that? Will you even think about, or consider it?
So I think it's an important question. It is correct that a submission has been made to my office. I am, thank you. I am going to look at it carefully because there are obviously legal and constitutional questions that arise. So I want to make sure that there aren't such obstacles. In principle, my thinking is this, but I need also to go through a process of engagement and consultation with relevant stakeholders in the city, or stakeholders in the city before I can come to a point of view. But my general orientation is this. I think that 30, 40 years ago when we negotiated the Constitution, we had a set of considerations in mind. We wanted to create a unified government. We did not want a situation where there was a proliferation of armed police forces in a country with different mandates and so forth. But today, I think local governments and provincial governments across the country, faced with the pressures of improving safety and security in their areas of jurisdiction, are faced with new questions. And so I think that the expectation on the part of the city that this matter be given a fresh look is one that I have an open mind on. I think the constitutional framework is sufficiently broad and flexible to allow for variation across the country. And so let me say this, I will keep an open mind.
All right.
Excuse me, we're running very short on time. We only have a few minutes until the conference begins. If you would please focus questions on issues relating to this conference or to Interpol generally, as we're going to have to wrap up in a couple of minutes, and this is your opportunity to speak with the Secretary General, and local national issues can be dealt with at another time. So I would encourage you to focus questions on the conference and other events. Thank you very much.
Okay. Colleagues, only the question to the SG. If there are other questions to the Minister and the National Commissioner, we'll go on the sidelines because we are delaying the conference. Thank you.
Yes, my question is for the Secretary General. My name is Aisha Ismail. I represent ENCA. You mentioned about threats, cybercrime, as well as artificial intelligence. Could you just expand on that, please?
very recently at Interpol, we have conducted. So very recently at Interpol, have conducted a study, a threat assessment in the region, where we deployed experts from Interpol to work together with experts from national law enforcement agencies from different Africa countries. And the result of that study is that cyber threats, so activities, criminal activities related to cyber crimes are rising in the region. And this is a result of organizations that are getting more sophisticated, are using more technology, adopting new technologies to commit those crimes. And one of those technologies is artificial intelligence. They are leveraging from it, and it's becoming difficult for law enforcement agencies to investigate and prevent those crimes, as it's also becoming very difficult for the victims to prevent themselves from that. And that's a role that Interpol is playing right now, developing tools and capacity building activities, especially trainings, to law enforcement agencies all over the globe, but especially here in Africa, with the objective of providing them the tools they need to investigate and fight those threats.
Yes. SG, my name is Turkmen Terz, representing Turkish Minute. I'm a foreign journalist here. There are so many reports there, and so many NGOs wrote to you directly that Turkey is abusing Interpol red notice system, and Turkish minister said they submitted 3,500 names to your system. So they are journalists, they are writers. So what do you want to say about that? You are a very credible organization. They are using your database to hunt their political opponents. Thank you.
So Interpol has a very complete and solid mechanism to prevent the databases and the tools of the organization to be used for objectives that are not under the main goals and the mission of the organization. We may have the opportunity to discuss about them later, but since this is not directly linked with the meeting we have here, I don't think we have the time to explore that. Thank you.
And it's going to have to be the last question.
Okay. This is a question for the SG. I'm Desan Thathia from ENCA. When you look at the continent as a whole, and when we talk about the collaboration between the different countries, what do you find to be the major challenges that are impacting the fight against crime? I'm talking about the movement of drugs, the human trafficking and others. Also the issue on the other side of extraditions and why these are such lengthy processes. So what have you identified as those challenges? Is it an issue of resources or is it an issue of will? Thank you.
The truth is that today, for law enforcement to act on pretty much any threat, we are talking about transnational threats, meaning that those organizations behind those activities are operating in multi-countries. So it's important first to have a mechanism for data sharing, and that's exactly what Interpol provides. We have a database that is used by law enforcement agencies from 196 countries to provide that information real time for police to act based on that information that is provided. The second part, which is related to your question, is about extraditions and judicial procedures that follow the police work. So at Interpol, we are trying to provide support on that part as well. So we are studying a mechanism that we can provide a similar platform to allow countries to also exchange information related to extraditions to make the process more agile and help with speeding up that process.
Thank you very much. At the end of the press conference, as the conference needs to begin, if I can thank you to our participants and ask the media to please leave the room as the conference is closed from now on. So media, please, can you quickly leave the room so the conference can begin? And thanks again to our participants. Thank you.
So if you need the minister, Kamo is here. And for the National Commissioner, I'm here. What now? Not wait. They're going to delay it.
mine? Are they
This is
good?
ours. This is yours.
Huh?
This is yours.
Yeah, this is ours.
On the screen. We have to insert the screen. Take it. Yeah. Baguette. Okay, mine. It's not so great. Please check it.
ممكن نعمل
Check it. What's wrong?
There's no power to this.
Yeah, there's power.
That's the problem. You cannot rotate anymore.
Do you?
The cable is too short.